Greatest show on the globe. It's Bradham and Emery in the morning, y'all. LeBron or Jordan, either one when I'm performing. Crossover, buzzer beater and I'm scoring. Bradham and Emery in the morning. Every play they on it. Every day I'm balling. Who's the coach? Who's the GOAT? Like Brady and Belichick, best show on the globe. And they embellish it. Y'all paying Ziffy, I'm Ken Griffey or maybe Mahomes. I stay in the zone, whether man to man or play in the zone. They can't stop me. Mayweather boxing, Curry with the shot, man. We just the best to be. Can we have our SB, please? This was meant to be. Every morning with Bradham and Emery.
Yes, sir. You know the vibes. Bradham in the morning. Marcus Bradham, just Emery.
Yo, early morning out there. Early morning out there. We got the big guy up and early.
Early risers.
Couldn't keep that draft. Couldn't keep that draft excitement in, could you?
No, you got listen. You got the draft excitement. You got the Sixers starting round 2 today.
Yep.
Lot of pessimism concerning that. I want to address that off top.
Okay.
Because I want to be a voice of optimism because I think you can be optimistic and still be upset about the big fella not being available for at least the first 2 games. But there are reasons for optimism.
I mean, Marcus Bradham, eternal optimist, is one of my favorite qualities about you. When I'm out here telling you the whole world's going to crumble, you're there being like, listen, the world may be crumbling, but it's not crumbling as fast as you think it is.
Exactly. So, listen, we heard that Embiid. You actually broke the news to me on Friday about Embiid. I still can't.
Yeah, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. I thought you had already known by the time we talked.
I still can't believe it. Orbital fracture again.
Other. I don't know if it matters or not, but it is his other orbital bone, not the one he broke the first time.
Yeah, so orbital fracture, concussion, concussion protocol right now. It was dire. The way it was reported Friday was dire. It was all right. We may never see him again. That's
that Shams tweet was
ominous to say the least.
Yeah, like there was a lot to be left to imagination and interpretation with that tweet he put out.
Yeah, so if there's been updates. So it looks like you could possibly see him game 3 or 4, depending on how this thing is healing. It doesn't look like it's going to require surgery, which is good. The last time he got surgery, he was out 3 weeks. He can clear concussion protocol by Wednesday. So we have no idea the degree, because you know how these concussions, they're so funny and weird, where you just don't know how, you can't really predict how the brain's going to heal. And sometimes guys recover quickly. Sometimes it looks like they recover quickly and they have setbacks. So we can't really, we can be able to discuss that on Wednesday, but you could see him by games 3 or 4. It could happen.
Now, did you hear what the Raptors play-by-play guy said?
Yes, I did. Yeah, it was the whole scene up there was, and like, this is for them too. This is coming off the heels of
KD,
way they treated KD when he blew out his Achilles again. The FMB chance, whatever. That didn't bother me too much. That's whatever.
No, I don't care. That happens in every city in America.
But like, you can't get upset when he taunts you back, and then listen. I don't know how you feel about that. I don't think the Siakam play was dirty. I think, because listen, they're actually really close off the court.
Yeah, they are.
I don't believe for a second Pascal Siakam was trying to hurt him. I think it was just an unfortunate thing. And with Joel Embiid, there's just always something. I love the guy to death, and it's not his fault he got elbowed in the face, but it's always something with him when it just is. That's just what it is.
So the way that I described the play to my dad, because he hadn't seen it, I just like I broke the news to you, I broke the news to him too. I felt like I was just the bearer of bad news all weekend.
Yeah.
But,
right.
I broke it to my brother too. Everybody, I was breaking it to everybody. I broke it to Sarah. I got to pick a bone with my buddy Chris, who broke it to me. So, but
yeah.
The way I described the play to him was it a dirty play? No, I don't think it was a dirty play. But I also don't necessarily think it was a clean play. Like, I think that play was somewhere in that gray area where, was it dirty? No. I mean, people get hit in the face with elbows in basketball every game of every team for every season. It happens.
Right.
But was Siakam hunting contact a little bit? Maybe.
And that's and listen,
Was Siakam hunting aggressive contact? Maybe a little bit.
yeah,
Was he mad about the airplane? Probably.
yeah. But I mean,
I would not classify it as a dirty play, but I also would not classify it as just a typical basketball play on play. It's somewhere in that gray zone.
Yeah, you saw him at the press conference after. He felt really bad about it. I don't, like I said, I don't believe for a second he was trying to hurt him. It's just unfortunate it went down that way.
Plus, you didn't find out how bad the injury was till the next day.
Exactly. Well, you saw the clip of. I mean, I guess Embiid knew a little bit because he did in his interview. He was saying, I think he broke my face, and I forget who was started laughing. He's like, no, I'm serious. I really think he broke my face. So Embiid, I think, kind of already knew at that point, but like we were so happy the series was over that we weren't focused on that at the time. People were talking about Doc Rivers having the game. I don't care about that either. You blew a 26-point lead last year. You were better safe than sorry. Let's just keep stomping these roaches until we know they're all dead. So like I have no problem with him being in there at that time either. I think Doc was getting ready to take him out probably after that sequence. It's just unfortunate that sequence happened before. Okay, so that happens.
So real quick about that Doc thing. I was actually talking to Lombardi about this the other day. I was texting with him, and he gave me the best line that I've heard in regards to that. And he said it was a quote that Belichick used to say all the time. And that is, well, if you would have told me what play he was going to get injured on, I would have just taken him out before that.
Right.
This is the playoffs.
Yeah.
Your guys play.
Right. Yeah.
Unfortunate? Like you said, he was probably getting ready. What was that? Right around the 4-minute mark?
4-minute mark. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Usually you pull your guys, what, about 2.5 to 3 minutes?
Right.
So I'd say if it happened a minute later, it probably would not have been Embiid in the game.
Right. Right. It was, yeah, it's silly to think that and try to blame Doc for this. Really blame anyone for this. It's just an unfortunate thing that happened. But so today.
Now we're getting the Phantom of the Process back.
Phantom of the Process. So tonight, 7:30, Sixers Heat, game 1. And listen, there's a lot of reasons for people to be a little down with the big fella being out. But I think we also need to focus on the fact that this isn't just happening here with Sixers. The injury report came out yesterday for the Heat, and they are the walking wounded.
Yes.
You got Al Lowry's already out with the hamstring. Tyler Hero's on the injury report. PJ Tucker's on the injury report. Jimmy Butler's on the injury report. So they're hurting too, and they're a team right now that they're in flux, just like Sixers in flux. Now, Butler sat out a game last series with the knee. Hero, I believe, is a non-COVID illness. PJ Tucker's walking wounded also. I think they have one more on the list, but I can't think of the top of my head who else is on the injured list.
Bam is pretty much the only one not on the list.
Right. So that kind of evens the playing field a little bit.
Is Victor Oladipo on the injury report too?
He's not. Now he's a luxury that they do have, to have a guy that accomplished, kind of just there, just come. I mean, he started for Butler, in the closeout game against the Hawks.
He scored almost 30.
Yeah, he played really well, and really is the reason they were able to close that game out. That game was very, very close, coming down the wire. So is it like theoretically we can't see the Sixers maybe stealing one of these two games? I can, based on these circumstances, and also too, Miami is not a difficult place to play. Like they have a good atmosphere when they want to, but I wouldn't say Miami is a place that you can't go in and win.
Not at all.
They're Miami is a very similar crowd to LA,
yes,
where there's so much other things going on in that city. Sports is not the main focal point. They get excited about their sports. Don't get me wrong. Just like LA does. We've seen the Staples Center and the Forum get lit. Yes. However, for instance, in Miami, the game's 7:30. You're gonna see that place capacity 8:15. Even though it's a playoff game, you're gonna see everyone in their seats till 8:15.
Despite the fact that it's a major city, Miami is a college football city.
Big hurricane talk.
Yes. Not here though, but
no. But so that's not an atmosphere in a place you can't go in and win.
LeBron's not walking through that door. Dwayne Wade's not walking through that door.
No.
Alonzo Mourning's not walking through that door.
Right. This team, I don't want to be disrespectful because they've accomplished a
They're
lot.
the number one seed for a reason.
They're number one seed. They've accomplished a lot. They're really what you're getting is a better version of Toronto Raptors. You're going to see very similar things with them to the Raptors. You're going to play hard, really hard for 48 minutes. They're going to be an intense defensive team, and they're a little bit more talented than the Raptors. They have guys that can actually get buckets. But again, when the guys that you have that get buckets are all wounded, how effective will they be? That's something we're going to have to just figure out tonight. On our side, listen, Embiid's down, but this is why you have James Harden. This is why he's supposed to be here. And we're going to find out. One of the things positive we'll get right now is we're going to find out in these next two games who James Harden is. Because he has no choice but to be the guy we want him to be at this period of time.
He has to be Houston. He has to be Houston James Harden.
He has to be. He has no choice. We need, for the Sixers to have a shot, he needs to be in the 28 to 32 point range in both of these games. He has to be. There's no getting around it. He has to be. Now, he has said, he's quoted the last couple of days, listen, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to help this team win. I'm paraphrasing. I need to be more aggressive, obviously, because Embiid's out. I plan to be. So, listen, in game 6, there were a lot of encouraging signs if you watched him play.
Yes.
He was more aggressive. He was more assertive. And that guy paired with Embiid, I'm very happy with that. That's a great game with Embiid. Now, with Embiid out, I need 6 to 8 more points out of you. But I think, but listen, the guy had 10 points in the first quarter in game 6. He set the tone immediately and said, yo, we come here to close y'all out. We ain't playing no more. And, he scored in game 6 whenever he wanted to. So that makes me feel good going into game 1, that he's going to remind people.
Have we seen a game yet where we've had Harden and no Embiid? Because we've had Embiid with no Harden. But have we seen Harden with no Embiid?
Never had Harden, no Embiid.
Okay.
So
I need Harden to just for lack of a better metaphor, take the ball and just go home and do whatever you want to do with it. Like, if you don't want to pass the ball tonight, you don't have to. If you're gonna if he wants to score 70 tonight, go score 70.
1,000%. And then you have
what's his over on points? I've been trying to not bet the over because I've been trying not to bet the NBA playoffs as a whole because I feel like there's been a lot of shenanigans going on. I.e. Draymond Green's ejection.
Oh my gosh! Oh, that was horrible. We'll get into that. That was absolutely terrible.
But let me see what the over is on his points real quick because 25.5.
I take the over. I'm blowing that over up.
I'm backing the Brinks truck up on the over.
Yeah, definitely blowing that over.
Here's the thing: if he gets the under on that, two things are true. One, the Sixers will definitely lose the game if he gets the under on that.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, if he gets the under on that, he played awful and looked terrible.
Yes. Now the second shoe in this little picture I'm trying to paint is Tyrese Maxey. Maxey was it was weird. It was weird against the Raptors because game 1 you saw he was a matchup nightmare for them.
Yes.
And by accident they were able to solve the problem with Fred VanVleet being out. Because Fred VanVleet couldn't stay in front of him. So what ends up happening when Fred VanVleet gets hurt, now you have all the Raptor dinosaurs, the Siakams, the Obanobis, Precious, all Thaddeus Young.
That man's name, by the way.
Precious, it's
Akun, or whatever it is.
Precious Kua. So you got a lot of the bigger guys were put on him, and they're an athletic team. So it slowed him down a little bit. We're back now to him being a matchup nightmare because now
Tyler Hero
those guys, you got Duncan Robinson out there, you got Tyler Hero out there. This is not a great matchup for a guy like PJ Tucker.
No.
And Jimmy Butler's like, I would think with Lowry out, they're going to ask Butler to guard Harden. So Maxi's going to have a lot of freedom and could create a lot of matchup nightmares out there because there's not a guy that I see from the Heat that's going to really be able to do a good job staying in front of him. So he's another guy that could give you some buckets.
He better.
Right. Sixers have two guys that could get you between 28 and 32. They have two guys right there. Now you have the other pieces. Danny Green, love what I'm seeing out of him. Hit some big shots in Game 6. This is why he's here. This is why I keep saying why I tolerate his ineptitude during the regular season, because I'm always hoping that during the playoffs he pulls it together, and he's pulling it together in the playoffs again, and he's hit some really, really big shots. Tobias Harris, Doc hit on this the other night. Probably played. I mean, obviously, Embiid, whatever, and Maxey played well too, but Harris is. You don't win that series without Tobias Harris. He did all the things that nobody sees. He played really good defense consistently on Pascal Siakam. He also hit a couple big shots. He was not hesitating at all to shoot the ball, and just played hard every night. Everywhere he's playing hard. That Tobias Harris shows up. I like it. So again, all of these things are reasons why it is not unreasonable to think the Sixers go out and steal one in these next two.
Yes.
I actually expect them to steal one of these next two. I expect it. Because I think they have all the tools. This is a nice thing. Again, if this is last year and Embiid's hurt, you're done because you don't have the scoring punch. Well, now we went out to trade deadline and got the scoring punch.
Yep.
Which is a trade that's looking better and regardless of what Harden is, the trade looks better and better each day with how things unfolded with Ben Simmons up there. Because I fully believe that the Nets expected Simmons to play. I think really in March they expect him to play, but I know they expect him to play, and I'm sure they would have not done that trade if they knew they would get nothing from Ben Simmons for the rest of this year.
Yes.
And I honestly, I don't want to get off on a tangent, but I would not be surprised if he is not a Net next year and he gets traded again before the season starts. I wouldn't be surprised. Because we know where he wants to be. If you've been paying attention to the show, we've been telling you for 2 years where this man wants to be. He wants to be in LA. That's where he wants to be. That's where he wants to play. He wants to be in one of the LA cities, preferably the Lakers, but he wants to be in LA.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't be surprised if something's worked out to get him out of there too. Because he can't have, they have to hate him. They have to literally.
Well, you've heard the reports about how they're frustrated with him now, right?
Which is hate.
Of course.
You have to. You have to. You have to.
We could have told you.
No way.
We could have told you this 3 months ago that you weren't going to have fun when you traded for this man.
Right. And so
Nets fans, how you feeling right now?
Sad.
So who are those? Who's that? There was that radio station up there, WFAN in New York.
Mm-hmm.
We're bashing Sixers fans, saying that Ben Simmons is going to lead the Nets to a championship.
So many people were. I mean, it was so weird. The national narrative, once the trade happened, the Sixers lost the trade. Ben Simmons on the court with KD and Kyrie will win a championship. Like, what? Again, I don't like you guys did last year.
So they're out of their big three. 2 of them don't even want to ever show up for work.
Yeah.
KD's at practice.
KD punches in every day, and he's just looking around saying, I don't know who's going to be here, but I'm here. So, yeah. So anyway.
Wow. There's 2 total flakes, and they have to be on the same team.
Yep. Yeah. It's a mess out there. Like I said, if I'm them, I want to get him out of there. And then, and KD, according to reports, greenlighted this trade. And he was they went to him and said, "What do you think?" And he was like, "Yeah," because they were thinking they weren't getting anything else out of James Harden this year. But I mean,
even less.
And the thing is, I think James, whatever was going on over there, he would have got over it by the time we got to the playoffs, and he would have been fine for them. He wanted to get out of there, but he would have been fine. The fact that you got him out of there to have a guy sit on the bench and do a fashion show for 3 months is Absolutely laughable.
It's just crazy.
It is. But anyway, back to people that are actually playing basketball. Yeah, so listen, again, the Embiid situation, yes, is dire. It sucks. It sucks it happened. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully you'll get him back at home. But you can win games against this team. This is not the 2013 Heat. This isn't the 2006 Heat. This is a beatable team. This is a beatable team, especially when they're nicked up. They're a beatable team. And like I said, I think the Sixers can win. What's crazy? I guess going into Game 6, I feel like I'm more confident about them winning the series now than I was at any point last week. And like, I don't know if it's just watching the dominance of Game 6, and I'm still have that in my head. I don't know what it is. I feel way better about this series than I did last week before when they were still playing the Raptors.
I feel good. I don't think at no point did I think they were going to get steamrolled. Obviously, I think the battle, it's an uphill battle without the big man.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not out of this fight by any means.
No.
Not out of this fight by any means.
No, I mean, and no national reporter has picked Sixers. Sixers have been picked
19-0 win against them.
Yep. And listen, the Sixers being the underdog, I'm okay with that. I think that's fair.
I prefer it.
Yeah, and I think it's fair. Like I don't by no means me talking and saying the things I'm saying, do I believe they should be favored. I think they are the underdog. But I also feel like it's a good matchup for them. Going into the Raptors series, I love this side of the bracket for them. I loved it for the matchups. And, I got started winning a little bit when things started to fall apart with the Raptors a little bit, but I'm back on loving this side of the bracket for them and loving them seeing a path to the Eastern Conference Finals through here and through this team. But it's very important. Like I like to, as a road team, I always like to get game one. I like to get out of the way, get game one, catch them sleeping. That's what I would like to have happen. In a dream scenario, they go out and they win it. They win tonight and make a statement tonight. I think the energy I'm feeling, even though you have the Embiid stuff, the energy I'm feeling around them is they're ready to go. I feel it. Sometimes how you can channel in to the team and kind of feel where their heads are at. I feel like they're ready to go. I feel like they're in a shock the world mood.
Fingers crossed, man. I hope
7.5.
I know it was 8.5.
7.5. It was 4.5. 4.5 before the Embiid news. 7.5, which I think is a lot. I think that's a little disrespectful. I may have gone 6.5, maybe. I think 7.5 might be a little disrespectful.
Well, it's like I said, it went all the way up to 8.5 at one point.
Yeah, circumstances of the Heat are in right now. I think that's borderline disrespectful. I mean, you don't know what you're getting out of Jimmy Butler tonight. Like, you have a guy that had to miss a playoff game. It's a big deal, especially a guy like Jimmy Butler. It had to be pretty bad for him to miss a playoff game. That's a big deal. And when guys and Tyler Hero, he's sick. So when guys are sick, you don't know what you're going to get out of him. And Tyler Hero doesn't play defense on a good day. So
he doesn't play defense, period. Yeah.
So when he's in the game, you know what he wants to do. He's a scorer. So So you have a guy who doesn't play defense on a good day is not feeling well too. So we'll see how that goes. Duncan Robinson's not the world's greatest defender. You know what he's got to do. And I don't know who they're going to put on him, but he's a guy that'll kill you because he's a guy that hits those. First of all, he never stops, and he hits those back-breaking threes where, like, listen, you can get him where he scores 5 points and doesn't bother you, or he can light you up for 25.
If you let him get in a groove with the threes, you're gonna have a bad night.
Yeah, you can't do that. You gotta stay. You gotta like as they say, whoever's guarding him, you gotta stay connected. Stay connected to the body. Stay connected. Stay connected. I'm one with guys like that. They're downright shooters. I like my defenders to fight through picks. Yes. I don't like switching on that because in basketball, the reason you set a pick is to confuse defense, make them make a decision. So I always tell, like, when I'm coaching, we set picks to make defenders make decisions. Because more often than not, they're not going to make the greatest decisions all the time. And you're going to catch them in a confused state. and you catch guys sleeping, and then you get guys like Duncan Robinson who thrive off that. So I want whoever's guarding him to stay connected, fight through those picks. I could see them, like, honestly, I think the guy you put on him, I don't know if they're going to start. They're probably not going to start Thibault. When Thibault comes in, I want Thibault and Duncan Robinson. I think he's the guy you want on him because
Thibault's under the microscope right now in this series.
He is. I mean, he was lost.
Like, he's going to get you what, 2 points maybe. So
right.
So then you have to be a stopper. Because
Right.
if you're not a stopper, I have no use for you.
1000%. He needs to we'll see. I mean, he's going to be, obviously he plays every game in the series and for the rest of the playoffs. So
the state of Florida doesn't care if you're vaccinated. So
right. So you hope he's back to, being a big time contributor defensively. Georges Niang's another guy. I need a couple threes from in this series, not in the series, in this game, and going forward, I need 2 to 3 threes from him. Didn't have a great series against the Raptors.
No.
But again, it was tough for him because he couldn't guard anybody. That team had way too many athletes to have Jordan Niang out there consistently. So this team doesn't. You can find moments and spots to put in Georges Niang. And I expect him to have a better series this series. I'm interested to see who starts tonight for Embiid. Do you go Paul Reed, which I would do? Or do you go DeAndre Jordan? I think Charles Bassey was activated. I don't know how much Doc trusts him in a situation like this. I'll be honest with you. I don't trust DeAndre Jordan at all. I would rather not see him for any reason. Like, he's a shot fighter. But he has no legs anymore. He's a walking minus at this point.
Well, the thing is that I worry that against a veteran team like Miami, against a veteran coach and all that, championship winning coach, and beat out, I don't trust Doc that he trusts Paul Reed. I think in this situation, he's going to go Millsap and Jordan because they're the veterans and that's what he feels. But I have no faith whatsoever in Doc to make the right decision and make Paul Reed the predominant center until Embiid comes back. I have no faith in it.
I'm okay with Millsap minutes. I don't want Millsap starting. I'm okay with Millsap minutes. I think he give you, 15 minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes. I don't know. I would rather see the combination of Reed, Millsap than DeAndre Jordan sniffing the court.
I think you're going to get. I think you're going to get a heavy dose of Jordan Millsap with only a little bit of Reed sprinkled in.
And I think you're right, and I don't like that.
I don't like it either. I usually really appreciate being right, and I wish I wasn't in this situation, but I feel like I am.
I know Paul Reed's, that's what I'm looking for. He's unseasoned at this point, but that's Doc Rivers' fault. Paul Reed should have been better developed to have in moments like this. Do you see where he can be effective? And he's been effective. He was effective. He had a couple of great spurts in that Raptor series. Also had a couple spurts were not so great, but that's just lack of experience. So, obviously in the playoffs is not the time you want guys getting experience. That's why that should have been done in the regular season, not now. But again, going back to the Ben Simmons situation, you thought you were going to have Andre Drummond in these moments. And how good would he look right now?
Oh,
I mean, that would have been
they perfect. Still had Drummond, and they were doing some, because you got to assume if they still had Drummond, there would be no Jordan.
Right.
There would be no Millsap.
Yep.
Because you didn't do the trade.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a Drummond-Reed combo until Embiid comes back, which I would you'd probably still be favored in the series with that point.
Yeah. I mean, now, obviously, you don't have Harden, so, but.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So yeah, it's listen, the trade worked out for a reason, but it'll be nice to have Drummond instead of the big guys we have now. But another thing about Harden is if you have a guy that can catch the lobs like a Paul Reed, you have a guy that's athletic. Harden can use him, especially in a situation now where Harden, you got to expect to be ball dominant tonight. So you're going to see more shades of the Houston Harden than you have at any point in time. So therefore, a guy like Paul Reed now plays the role of Clint Capella. And Paul Reed, I think, could play a good Clint Capella, where he's just basically in the dunker spot and Harden's penetrating, and when he wants to, throws in that lob up there. But we'll see. That's my pick. I hope, but I think I lean more towards you. I think Doc's going to trust DeAndre Jordan and Millsap over Reed, but we'll see how that goes. But all right, so let's take a quick break, and on the other side,
well, real quick for you, just stay around the NBA real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I told you what was going to happen in Boston.
All right, it's still early. I mean, it wasn't.
For game one,
Yeah.
I was right.
Yes. I mean,
I said Giannis was going to come out and do Giannis things.
He did a lot of Giannis things. Triple dub for Giannis. Really, I mean, he just treated Jason Tatum like he was Deuce Tatum.
A child.
Yeah, treat him like Deuce Tatum. Little Deuce.
That's what I was saying when I said
that one clip where Jason Tatum is trying to do everything in his power to make sure. And Giannis said, "Just get off me, please. Excuse me." Just goes to the basket, 3-point play. Listen, I've been really hard on him throughout the years. I think rightfully so. I think it was justified. But I feel like his game has gone to even another level. I think the things that drove me crazy about him, about his basketball fundamentals, I think he's improved those too. He's a much better foul shooter this year. He's developed other things in his game, like a little turnaround jump shot, the pull-up game. I think he, like, the thing I respect about him is those things that aren't great, he works on those things. Unlike Ben 10.
Yep.
But anyway.
Let's hit the break. On the other side, we got a bunch of facts. We also got to give a special shout out to someone. A little
draft talk, and I'm going to help you out with a problem you brought up over the weekend.
I don't remember, but I'm sure
Grab me in the morning. Mark, we're right back.
Looking for authentic Mexican food close to home? Great news. District Taco is just around the corner in Abington, Pennsylvania, and they'd love to fiesta with you. Offering delicious fish tacos, a California burrito stuffed with guac, steak, fries, and chipotle mayo, plus sweet, crispy churros. District Taco has it all. Try out the newest location and come back for more. Get 10% off your first in-app order with promo code BREMI10. Always fresh, always Mexican, District Taco.
Relationships can be tough, and finding that special someone can be even tougher. So when it's time to make a decision on what to do with the ring, you don't want to have that be tough too, right? Hi, I'm Marcus Brown. I want to talk to you guys, my friends at Vans Jewelers, located at 13 South York Road in the heart of Hatboro. Back in 2017, when I decided to get engaged, there was only one choice for me. Going into Vans Jewelers, I was quite nervous, but they put me at ease right away with their friendly staff and their easy selection. They have selections for any budget. Rings, watches, chains, earrings, you name it, they got it. They also offer free ultrasonic cleaning and stone checks on any ring. Vans Jewelers also provides cleanings while you wait every Tuesday through Friday. What else do you want? You can't beat it. Go see my friends at Vans Jewelers, located again at the heart of Hatboro, 13 South York Road.
Justin here. Let me tell you about my friends over at Beef Jerky Outlet. A family-owned business, Sharon and Michael have the best jerky around. They have a huge selection to choose from, but always make sure to try my personal favorite, the Honey Barbecue Turkey Jerky. Don't think they only have jerky for sale. They also have the best supply of sauces, marinades, and rubs for all of your new recipes. Located at 110 Lincoln Highway, right by Oxford Valley Mall. Head on over there, go in and say, "Yo, Justin sent me."
Every Friday, we're bringing you bits. But it's especially hilarious to me knowing what I've seen happen in McDonald's locations over the years. Hell, what I've done in McDonald's locations over the years.
Hits. Always winterize your pipes. I think that is such a funny...
And everything in between.
See, it's the opposite. You don't see it, and he was totally about eating that baby.
We are Twitty and the Brand. We're going to ruin something that you love. New episodes weekly on all your favorite podcast streamers.
Yeah, man. Welcome back. Brown in the morning. Marcus Brown and Simmery.
Yo. May 2nd. A lot of things happened today, but Marcus, I have to give a shout out to some history that actually occurred yesterday.
Okay.
Shout out to Kelsey Whitmore. Are you familiar with who she is?
I am not.
She became the first woman to start a Atlantic League baseball game for any level of Major League Baseball. She started in left field. Granted, she went 0 for 2, but
Okay.
still started in left field yesterday, becoming the first woman.
She make some contact.
I do not know if she
Okay.
made contact or not, but it's her second appearance. She also made a appearance earlier in the season, but did not get an at bat. She was only in the field.
Okay.
But we obviously support Trailblazers on this show.
Absolutely.
She's also a member of the national baseball team.
Okay.
She's only 23.
Wow. All right. Kelsey Whitmore. You
So,
love to see it.
but then we have a bunch of facts for today as well.
Okay.
We'll start in 1918. GM buys Chevy, creating the massive automobile industry or an automobile company that it is today. 1933. I know you're out on this. I'm not, though. The first reported sighting of the Loch Ness Monster. I know you're out on that. 1954. Stan Musial hits 5 home runs in a doubleheader.
Stan the man.
And so here's a kind of a bizarre story. So I need you to bear with me while I break it down. 1958, okay? The Yankees broadcast team threatens to broadcast Yankees games nationally. Seems like an odd thing to threaten that you're going to do, right? Well, that's because the National League was starting to broadcast baseball games in the city of New York. Obviously, the Yankees are in the American League.
Right.
So the Yankees said, well, if you're going to broadcast National League games here, we're going to broadcast our games nationally. Now, you fast forward, 60 some odd years later, it would seem absurd that a league would not want their games nationally broadcasted now.
Yeah.
Can you believe that was actually a threat in the late 50s? We're going to create a bigger fan base against you.
Right. It's weird. A weird request. I mean, a weird threat.
Weird threat to make, isn't it?
Yeah, a little odd.
1964, the Rolling Stones debut albums comes out. 12 straight weeks at number 1.
Good on Stones.
1972, Bruce Springsteen is found and auditions for Columbia executives. Now, here's a story that you're going to love that I'm sure you already know, but I'm going to recap it real quick. 1989, Michael Jackson. A funny story. You know what happened this day in 1989 to Michael Jackson?
No.
The jewelry store incident.
I don't know this story.
Oh, so he walks into a jewelry store in California.
Okay.
But security's alerted because there is a man with a fake mustache, a wig, lots of makeup, and an absurd outfit on. So the cops are called because they're in a high-end jewelry store. This is obviously suspicious.
Yeah, yeah.
It is Michael Jackson in disguise trying to just go out shopping so no one would know him. Remember, this is the late 80s.
Yeah, so this is prime.
Yes. And so he's detained and is later found out that it is Michael Jackson in disguise just trying to go out shopping.
Trying to get it done. Man, I would never want that level of fame. Never.
No. That reminds me of an interview I saw on the old school MTV with Eminem, where they're interviewing him in Detroit, and he's trying to be as low-key as possible.
Yeah, I remember this.
And someone recognizes him.
Right.
And he turns to the camera guy and he's like, yo, we got to go.
Right.
Like, we can't be here anymore. Like, we have to get out of here now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, I would never want that level of celebrity. No, not even a little bit.
No. 1999, John Elway retires from the NFL. Now, in the U.S., this happened yesterday. However, local time, it happened on May 2nd, and that is Osama bin Laden was killed.
Yeah, I mean, who could forget that announcement?
I remember I was at Penn State. It was senior year.
Yeah.
I was watching the Phillies game,
Yeah.
and that's where it broke.
Yep. Yeah, I'll never forget watching Brock. I mean, I get chills now just thinking about that announcement and the way he delivered it.
So obviously you remember the chance at the Phillies-Mets game that night and all that.
Yeah.
Do you even remember that game went another 5 innings after that announcement?
No, I didn't remember that. No.
Like that game went another 5 innings and the Mets actually won the game. You don't even remember that.
No, I don't. I remember people looking at their phones and cheering. I remember all that. I don't remember that at all.
So it was my mom's birthday. Like yesterday, like I said, was my mom's birthday. So obviously May 1st, it's still her birthday 11 years ago. So I'm away at college now at the time. I've talked about before how I had my megaphone in college.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so I strapped that thing to my chest and I run downtown because I know it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
American flags,
Right.
all like the ROTC students are now all in like their fatigues, like marching around on campus and everything.
Yeah.
Well, I have a megaphone. I'm just constantly yelling USA over and 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 over.
Mm-hmm.
I get invited by someone way up on some rooftop to come up there. They're like, you have a megaphone. Come on up here and party. So next thing I know, I'm on a rooftop doing keg stands, just shouting USA out of a megaphone.
Love it. It's a good look by you.
I thought so. 2012, Messi breaks the single season scoring record of 68 in the European League.
Wow.
And this day, 2015, all-time records were shattered for a fight. Do you know what fight happened in 2015 on this day?
Was it Pacquiao Mayweather?
It was.
Yeah, I bought that fight.
Oh.
Not happy.
I was going to say that's not a good look.
Well, I mean, it happened. It happened a full 6 years after it should have happened.
Yeah.
So
I was actually in San Diego at the time when the fight was going on. And have you ever been to San Diego?
Yeah.
Okay, so have you've been to Pacific Beach?
Mm-hmm.
So like the main strip where all the bars are on Pacific Beach.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm walking down that strip, and all of the bars, you know how they all have like the glass windows so you can see in.
Yeah.
All had tarps over all their windows, so you couldn't stand on the sidewalk and watch the fight through the glass.
That's awesome. Come inside and purchase something, son.
Yes, I mean I didn't care. I was like, this. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. So we talk too much, and it's 7:50 already.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a quick draft thing, but we
only had 5 picks, so
yes,
we only made 5 picks.
Listen, I don't know how you can't, like, if you're not excited about what's happening right now with Eagles football, I don't know who you are. I think it's world renowned that they did really well in the draft. They definitely won the draft for them. I think, as a team, you got to win the draft for you. Winning the draft overall, who knows? That's for history. But they won the draft for them. They addressed most of the needs and concerns they needed.
It is widely universally accepted they had a top 5 draft.
Yes, Nakobe Dean. I'm still reeling about that.
Listen,
why he was down there?
It's that weird injury. Did you hear about that?
Neck injury. Well,
so,
okay. Go ahead.
Well, the thing is that the biggest reason why he fell is that he refused to have surgery on it because he didn't want to. He said he didn't need surgery.
Yeah.
This isn't a knee. This isn't an ankle.
Right.
This is a pec injury. It is his chest.
Mm-hmm.
He can get that surgery if he has to.
Right.
Rehab it and be fine. If he figures it out. That team had 5 first-round defensive players.
Yes.
Arguably the best defense in the history of college football.
Gordon Ray Diddy, greatest defense ever in history of college football.
This is a player who was the captain
Yep.
of that defense and that the other players looked up to.
Yes.
Is he the biggest? No. He's 5'11", 230. But he has been called flat out brilliant and a savant when it comes to the defensive IQ that he has for the game of football. And that has to be taken into account. You are not the leader of that. Like, this isn't like you have guys all the time that are captains of their team and Manti Te'o. This is not Manti Te'o.
Right.
He doesn't have a fake girlfriend. Okay. This is not Manti Te'o.
Right.
Is this guy going to be Khalil Mack? Probably not. Is this guy going to be Ray Lewis? Highly unlikely. But you know who he could be? DeMeco Ryans. Yeah. I'll take that.
Prime DeMeco Ryans, absolutely.
I'll take that in a second.
There's a lot of talk and comparisons, not style-wise, but situation wise, to the Jeremiah Trier situation, when the Eagles drafted him 20 years ago with the thing with his knee, a lot of teams passed on him because of that, and he ends up being one of the best linebackers in Eagles history.
Well, Trout put out a huge tweet about it when they drafted him. He was like, finally they got a linebacker. Like
I didn't think, like, listen, you know how the Eagles are with linebackers. I didn't think there was a shot they were getting to Kobe Dean. I didn't think he would drop that far and be there. I knew people were concerned about the pec, but the Eagles did the due diligence. They are confident that he's going to be ready by camp.
They got a guy who's a top 20 talent in the 3rd round.
Yes.
I bash people when they deserve to be bashed.
Mm-hmm.
However, I need to praise when you need to be praised. Today, he is not Howard Roseman, the accountant of the Philadelphia football team. No. Today, he's Howie Roseman, GM of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
When I obviously we were so focused on the draft this weekend, but I went back and looked at the entire offseason.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles have to have a top 3 offseason this year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you are able to really kind of flip Carson Wentz for AJ Brown. I mean, that's winning the day.
Like, look, like you got because what they did is they had the luxury of, and this goes to it is important that Howie Roseman got that contract before this draft. Because you could see the way that he drafted is someone who had job security.
Yes.
He didn't draft rushed or panicked. He drafted as someone who knows I got some security. I'm okay.
Yeah.
For example, he got to draft at all 3 facets. He got to draft for now, for later, and stockpile. He got to draft for now. Jordan Davis is a ready to play now player.
Mm-hmm.
You have to include A.J. Brown because you traded a 1st-round pick. Right. A.J. Brown is a ready-to-play-now player. Obviously, he's been in the league. I'm not telling anybody anything they don't know already.
Right.
Nakobe Dean, I think he's a ready-to-play-now player, barring that injury. Get that all checked out.
Which they feel good about. So
yes.
I'm going to trust the doctors and trust them that they –
It's funny how all of a sudden everybody has all this faith in the Eagles medical staff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you have to. You also draft, hopefully, Jason Kelce's successor.
So that's the second tier. They got to draft for development. They got a guy who Kelce said, I put on the tape, I thought I was looking at myself. He's like, I watched this. He's like, I thought I was looking in the mirror at myself play.
Yeah.
And you're going to give him to Jeff Stoutland
and Jason Kelce
for a year.
Yes.
Boom. And he may even get a chance to get some snaps in at right guard.
Right.
To get his feet wet a little bit. So you have that, and then you still have 2 first-round picks next season.
Yep.
When you combine that with the Reddick signing, the what was his White, I think is his name, the guy from
Kazir.
Mm-hmm. From LA. You brought him in. Then you got Dean. So there you got 3 new guys at linebacker right now.
Yes.
With TJ Edwards, who had a good year. Not great year, but he had a good year.
Surprise. Yeah, I mean the linebacker, I mean their defense,
and that linebacking room is now
Edwards got in the game.
Like, I like my linebackers to just be guys who erase people off the field.
Yes.
I want them to be the bouncers who throw people out of the club. Yep. That's what I want my linebackers to be. Like, they eliminate offensive players on the field.
Yes.
That's what you now have. You go to the defensive line. You have Sweat, Barnett, Graham, Davis, Cox, Hargrave, and I'm missing I know I'm missing an 8th guy. I know they have another guy. What's that?
Say Sweat?
Yeah, he was the first one I popped off. They had an 8-guy rotation. I can't remember the 8th guy, but I know, like, that's a deep line right there.
Yes.
Like, you can run out Jordan Davis at nose tackle, flanked by Cox and Hargrave, with pick who you want: Sweat, Graham, Reddick, Barnett, whoever you want on the outside. And then you get that rotation. Bring me the Honey Badger.
Yes, I agree.
And now we're talking, okay, division win,
mm-hmm.
possibly a first playoff game win.
Mm-hmm.
You have your offensive line pretty much set, besides maybe the right guard position for the next at least 3 years with Lane Johnson, and then the left side, Dickerson and Mulata, for the next decade.
Yes.
Miles Sanders is a starting running back in this league.
Agreed.
He's not. Is he a superstar? No, but he's a starting, capable running back in this league.
And I keep bringing up Kenneth Gainwell. I really do have faith that he is someone that's going to be someone that's going to be able to help you. Especially, I like him in a red zone. I think he's going to be a big time red zone guy for them.
Then combine that with Goddard.
Mm-hmm.
I have no faith in Arcega-Whiteside, so you need another tight end.
Yes.
You got Brown, you got Smith. Now all of a sudden, Watkins and Reagor as your 3-4 don't look so bad. Now, I honestly still think you need another receiver.
Yeah, and like I don't know. I don't think Reagor is going to be on this roster when the season starts. I just don't see it.
I think this year he will be because of the first round money and all that. I don't think that next year he will be. I think this year, though, contract-wise, dead caps, all that, et cetera, I don't think they're going to be able to.
I guess he survived the draft, so I don't know when they would trade him. Yeah, I guess you're right, but
because they're not going to just cut him and take that loss.
And listen, maybe
as a 3, that's what he is.
Maybe he has that Nelson Aguilar year for you.
Because he's probably whoever their third receiver is a 4. Because Goddard is probably your 2 in every situation. Yeah. He's that good.
And the way and Goddard is important to a cool guy like Hurts.
Now
a tight end is very important to a guy like Hurts. So
now more than ever, we now need Jalen Hurts to be that guy. And I'm switching now. Of course, we've been critical of him, and I don't think we've been unfairly critical of him. I think it has been justified.
Yes,
but there is no more excuses. This team will rise or fall as number 1 does.
Yep.
I have no doubt in his work ethic. He's obviously a guy that will go out there and grind. If it all comes together and the water rises and number 1 rises, this team, I don't think they're going to compete for the end. Like the Rams and Stafford still a problem. Aaron Rodgers is a back-to-back MVP, and the GOAT is still in Florida. But why can't you win your division?
This could be. I mean, if they play this right, and Hurts does make a jump, this could be Eagles 2000.
Yes,
a team that gets surprise people, goes like 11-5, gets in the playoffs, wins a playoff game, and loses in the second round. Because this could be that year for them.
With losing Amari Cooper, Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, though that 1-2. I don't know they had the third guy there. I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but I know they had a third receiver there.
Gallup.
But it was really the Cooper CeeDee Lamb combo that was you had nothing for. Right. Losing Cooper is a major hit to them. I don't think that Dak's a good quarterback. I'm over the Dak Carson comparisons. We were wrong.
Right.
We were wrong about it. Dak's better. But Dak is not Rodgers or Brady or Wilson. He's not that guy. He needs weapons.
Right.
So you're taking
I mean, it's you can't not be happy about, everything that took place this weekend with the Eagles. I think they won the day. They got the guys they needed. Obviously, I'd see a cornerback getting here. Hopefully, the Honey Badger getting here, and then we'll see.
Stephon Gilmore still out there? Or did he sign?
I don't think he got picked up yet. Why do I feel like he went to the Colts?
I feel like he went to the Rams.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure where he is. I'm not sure he ended up.
He is. Oh, you were right. He is with the Colts.
Yeah, I thought I heard he went to the Colts.
Oh, yeah, he said, "Oh, 2-year deal." Well, obviously, team. If you're over 30 as a corner and a team's going to give you a multi-year deal, you take the multi-year deal.
1,000.
Now, before we get out of here, let me ask you one more name on the cornerback and see if you're interested or not. Now, obviously, it's a name, but he's on the back end. I'm sorry, 2 names. Patrick Peterson. Xavier Rhodes. Any interest in either one of them?
Patrick Peterson. I think they're still treading on that tire. Xavier Rhodes, man. I mean, okay, but I'd be more excited about Patrick Peterson. Listen, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here, though.
Yeah, and bring me the Honey Badger.
Yeah, tonight, game 1.
Yep.
I like him tonight. I really do. I think tonight's the night to go out there and steal one.
Are you going with the points or are you going outright on the money line?
I'm moneying it.
Ooh, 270. You know that, right?
I'm money lining it. Yeah. So I love him. I actually love him tonight.
Well, listen,
like
your phone. If they win the game, hang around your phone nearby.
Mark, be tweeting everywhere.
At Justin Emery Show on. Oh, it just went to 280. At Justin Emery Show on social media.
Bradman Pod everywhere. BradmanShow.com for the merch.
Make sure last day to use promo code Bremy for 10% off your first in-app order at District Taco.
Until next time, you can be with us, you be against us, but never gonna stop us. Late.